Rewind, selector. Rewind. Rewind, selector. We gotta rewind a little. Just a little. This is for my youth. Just a little. Okay. Let's okay. All right. So listen, I guess, sometimes I just get inspired sometimes to create a blog, and this is no different. And we definitely, the young brother wants to talk. He said, let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. Okay. Young brother, and I respect him. And this is from a place of respect. Seriously. When I respond, as I'm responding now to this video he made, I don't want to put him out there like that, but this is like teaching moments when we, this is just, I think it's a teaching moment, because there's some things that came to my attention as he broke it down. I was like, oh, okay. We both, it's this opportunity to exchange ideas, right? And thoughts, and learn. Basically learn. So the past couple years, right, I've been talking about contracts, certain smart contracts, specific with crypto, right? And this year, 2021, presented some real life issues for me that basically caused me to completely fall back on creating videos about the smart contracts that I was involved with. Those contracts are fire. Okay? Those contracts are great. Solid. Let's make that clear. Those contracts are fantastic to me, like seriously. This year, 2021, presented a problem. And I'm going to identify what the problem is. But first, I have to preface that by saying this. In crypto, in the few years that I've been in crypto, I've learned so much, and I'm learning all the time. The learning doesn't stop. But the crypto OGs, depending on whatever perspective, the crypto OGs, the people who've been in crypto, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, many of them share this jewel that I'm about to share, that I'm about to impart or pass on, because the jewel was passed on. I caught it. I appreciate it. I hold it, and I'm going to pass it on. Like when you're playing ball, you pass the rock to your man and he shoots and scores. The jewel, one of the jewels. Oh my, why? It might be more than one jewel I might share and remind folks. But the young man who I'm addressing respectfully, the early bird gets the worm. That's a saying that they say over here. I don't know where that came from. Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat, I don't know. It doesn't matter. The early bird gets the worm. When you get into a coin or a token, especially the good ones, early, and you're able to hold those tokens over a period of time, you're patient enough to hold those tokens, oh man, you fare to be successful by accruing and amassing huge gains. Huge. If you would have held on to Bitcoin from the early years, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, hell, if you would have acquired Bitcoin in 2020 and you held to now, you're looking pretty. You're doing well. The same with Ethereum. Back in 2015, you would have held or bought 2015, 16, 17, 18, and you held on to now. Oh, you're doing well. You've amassed gains. Should you decided, hopefully you've decided, if you decided, not hopefully, but if you decided or anyone decided to sell, hopefully they sold at a profit. You know, hopefully they didn't buy the top and sell at the bottom, thereby getting wrecked. But the idea is, in many cases with crypto so far, what we've learned, what the OGs have taught us, what we have seen for ourselves, those who've been in crypto, and we have used those principles and exercised those principles. When you hold, you win the most over a period of time. That has not changed. Now, you don't necessarily always have to be early. And that's what those contracts have taught me. That you don't have to be first, second, third, whatever. You don't have to be early. As long as you know and believe in whatever product, project, token, or coin that you have, and you hold on to it, and basically with those contracts, you receive dividends, and you hold on to them for a period of time, you will fare extremely well. Extremely well. Now, this year, 2021, has presented to the entire crypto industry, to those who pay attention to blockchains such as Ethereum, that there's been a fundamental problem this year. A fundamental problem this year. The costs to transact have been too high, have been very expensive. For people who can handle it, or groups and individuals or whatever that are able to afford it and not care about the fees, this doesn't apply to them. I'm talking about the regular schmegular end users like you and I, who utilize and interact with the blockchain, who find ourselves paying more in fees than receiving as far as the crypto. Make it make sense when you have to pay upwards of $100, $150 in fees just to receive $50 to $80 in crypto, worth of crypto. So now, the young man asked, or said, he's the only one now, the only one in the community that's been talking about making videos about the contract and promoting the contract. Well, I have to say, at this point, perhaps he's right. Perhaps he is right, that he's the only one right now making videos, making blogs, or whatever, promoting the contract. And he clearly understands that, okay, maybe the cost might be a turnoff. Okay, that's clear. So we understand that the Ethereum blockchain right now is pricing out a lot of individuals and even communities. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard different teams on different blockchains and different communities talk about how they had to halt their development on certain projects because of the exorbitant high fees. of Ethereum. End of story. So now, in his discussions, he was basically trying to diffuse the fact that he was labeled a scammer by another person who called him a scammer from a different chat because the person noticed who he was and that he was a promoter that the person saw, and the person got into one of the contracts, and the person so far is not pleased with his interaction of the contract, so he thereby, like everyone does, all of a sudden it's a scam. Meanwhile, people do not know how the models even work or are impatient, and they constantly sell their bags at a loss. So, and I've said this before for years, who do they blame first? The promoters. Who did they blame first? The marketers. Who did they blame first? The content creators, the YouTubers. That's who they blame first. So it should be no surprise. Actually, it's unfortunate, but it shouldn't be a surprise when people make those claims, because we all know and understand this is what they've done it knowingly. And it's sad because no one forces anyone to click send. No one forces anyone to make the decision and interact with any type of crypto they should decide they choose to use. But people always want to point the finger. So in his attempt to diffuse and dispel, his argument is fine. And I understand it, because the contracts are not scamming contracts. They're not. They haven't been. They just work different. Right? Okay. Now, to say that you're the only one right now, you're the only one who's talking about the contract. Now, you have to ask yourself, why are you the only one who's talking about the contracts? Why? Do you? And I know you understand. You understand what's taking place because you're connected with the community. You keep your hand on the pulse, pun intended, because pulse is being created due to the high fees and the transactions and all the stuff that's going on with Ethereum. Pulse chain is being forked off of Ethereum for those same reasons and more. You understand this. So why do you think that there's been a lull, a slowdown in whatever activity that's taking place as far as people no one else is promoting except you? Now, I understand you want to build your channel, okay? And what YouTube did, because this is what YouTube does, they're unfair with their practices. They shut channels down. I get it. I understand you want to build a channel. I understand you want to create engagement. I understand you want to have, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to ask yourself because I do agree right now, because you may very well be the only one promoting, but why is that? And the answer is staring right in front of you. Now, you're a smart young man. You're a smart young man. And I get different techniques and different ways and different strategies, again, to create engagement. Now, but what I don't understand is knowing what you know about Etherscan, Gas Tracker, how people are actually plotting and have done this. They will tell each other which times of the days of the week are the lowest fees are the lowest gas prices to interact on Ethereum. Just where they can get a deal. And even when they get those deals are still high. If you miss it, those prices change instantly. If you understand, this is one of the fundamental reasons why Ethereum is having issues, because miners are taking advantage due to their proof of work model. You understand this. You understand that the founder of Ethereum is already well off, made his money. is not really enthusiastic in launching 2.0. They've been talking about 2.0 for 4+ years. How many smart chains have come out within the last year? You understand this. You understand these things. So if you want to shine the light on yourself and say, well, yeah, I'm the only one who's doing this, well then, okay, but I'm not sure if it makes sense to shine a light on yourself saying that. Because why? Because as you are the only one who's doing that, but what you're doing is you're informing people of this solid product, yes, but you're not informing people and letting them know, listen, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And understand that to deal with these contracts, you have to deal, of course, with the ups and the downs, with the cycles. And the cycles, especially during the down cycles, is very difficult. Educate the people, tell the whole story. Tell the whole thing. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially when people, the last cycle was when? The fall of 2020? That's a year. It's difficult for people. Call it both sides. Just present both sides of the material. We know things change when it comes to crypto as well. We know people have everything changes in life. It's no different in crypto. It's no different. But listen, there's a community. You're a part of the community. Keep doing what you're doing. I see. I'm a subscriber. I have no reason not to be a subscriber. Support your efforts, young man. I do. But be 100. Be 100. I'm not saying that you're not, but I'm saying what you imply by saying you're the only one that's doing this is as if there's no other reason that you should be the only one that's doing this. If no one else is doing it except you, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. It's not that the marketing is not deserving. It's not that the products don't deserve, the smart contracts don't deserve any marketing. I've been talking about that for the longest. But we've reached a fundamental problem on the Ethereum blockchain that's not being addressed. Because why? Because the founders and the miners do not care. Having a discussion with, at this low level, end user versus end users, it's not helping the situation at hand. 1559 came and did not address the problem. And so it was also being said, as far as the price changes, it was also being said that don't expect Ethereum 2.0 to even address the gas fees. So let's be clear, let's be succinct in our thoughts and in our messages and what we share with the community, as far as having discussions about dispelling certain things involving what we like and what we don't like in crypto. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Take care. Much support. Peace.